everyone, and welcome to Life According to Nikki. Guys, before we get started today and go straight into what I've been watching, reading, all of that, I need to tell you about something that happened last night. Oh my gosh, it's so hard when you have a traumatic event in the evening, the wee hours of the morning, I should say, like a 2-3 a.m. incident. And when you're single and alone, and it's just sad. You want to tell someone, like, if you throw up in the middle of the night, you kind of want to walk in, you're dejected, like, you're sad. Oh my gosh, it's an experience that takes over your whole body, and I just want to be, comforted by someone else, knowing that I flew up, I flew up. And I didn't necessarily throw up last night, but it felt on a similar level. I had a very traumatic evening, actually. Let me paint the picture. So I intended to go to bed early because I had to work at 7 a.m. I know. You don't even have to tell me. I know. That's crazy, especially coming from me. Miss, 10 a.m. is my 7 a.m. But you know what? Desperate for money over here. Well, anyways, I had a 7 a.m. shift, and because of that, I told myself, girl, you're going to be a responsible adult, and you're going to go to bed at a reasonable time. Put Instagram away, put TV, movies, put it away. And then, what happened? Somehow it was 9 p.m., and I was, fully intending to go to bed, and I finally decided to go to bed at 10:45. So we were already starting off so strong, and I wake up at about 12:20, so just, not that long later. And it was one of those instances where my eyes open and immediately I am panicked. Like, I woke up because my body was in freaking fight or flight and woke me to tell me to breathe, and I'm dying. So my eyes, open, and I'm freaking Katniss Everdeen when she wakes up in District 13, panicked. That was me, because I can't breathe. I'm choking on freaking acid reflux. So I bolt out of bed. Keep in mind, I'm disabled, okay? I don't do well with fast, sudden movements from a laid down position to standing. Still hard for me 6 years later, all right? I have no feeling really in my legs at that point, because I only have 10% on just a normal, everyday, day-to-day life. You get what I'm saying. But after being laid down, when I sit up and stuff, I need a second because it's really difficult for my legs. And that is beside the point. What am I talking about? Okay, all I'm trying to paint is I get up immediately because I'm choking. I can't breathe. And I rush to my bathroom, and I'm trying to swallow, trying to breathe. If any of you have ever had acid reflux, you know the panic I am talking about, because everything burns. It just feels like my esophagus is on fire, but you can't swallow either. I don't know. It's horrible. It's really, really panic-inducing. This has only ever happened 2 other times to me. The first time, legitimately thought I was going to die. It was horrible. I was in a hotel room the very first time this happened. This was a few years ago. And I was alone, as I always am. My goodness, I need to get someone in my life just for these experiences alone, because you want to know how I'm going to go out? It's not going to be a blaze of glory. It's going to be choking on my own acid reflux. Just so sad. And I don't really even have acid reflux. So where is this coming from? I don't know. Clearly, now this is my 3rd time in the last few years. I need to start writing down what I'm eating to see if I can find a pattern, but that's besides the point. The point is, I wake up, I'm panicked, I'm trying to breathe, I'm trying to, almost make myself throw up, but it was a nightmare. But I'm also simultaneously trying to tell myself to calm the F down, because my heart is beating a million miles a minute. I'm looking into the mirror, into the face of my terrified eyes, being like, it's you and me here. We're gonna just end this right here, right now. I am going to die from this. It's horrible. And I'm here alone. No one would know. So, anyways, I'm trying to tell myself to calm down. I was both simultaneously Ron from the Harry Potter series when he's stuck in the ivy and he's like panicking, and I'm also Hermione from the bottom that's like, you have got to relax. That was the inner battle that I was having going on. Was the Ron part of me that was like, I literally can't breathe right now. And then the Hermione part that was like, okay, but listen, you're not going to be able to breathe better by, doing whatever you're doing. So just calm down for a second, slow your breathing. So I managed to get some medicine for myself. I have some charcoal pills. Managed to swallow 2 charcoal pills. Also popped a Pepto-Bismol because the chewable tablets. Pepto-Bismol is just charcoal. Like, that's, if you didn't know that, that's what it is. When you go get your stomach pumped, if you have alcohol poisoning or poisoning of any kind, what are they doing? They're filling you with charcoal. If you've listened or read the Ballad of Songbirds, no, Sunrise on the Reaping, the new prequel for the Hunger Games series, in that it talks about he's like poisoned and there's charcoal. Yeah, so charcoal is the cure to a lot of poisons. I don't quite know how it works, but just from what I know from the Pepto-Bismol commercial, it like coats your esophagus and your like stomach lining, and it kind of makes it so the stomach acid can't continue bubbling up. Like, it just coats everything. Again, like the Hunger Games, but think of the final installment where that black liquid comes and, like, coats everything I think it's the part 2, Mockingjay part 2. Wow, we're throwing out references left and right. Hope you're keeping up. But yeah, that black coating, that's what's going on inside your stomach. And anyways, I swallowed those. I have a cough drop in my mouth. I'm trying to breathe. It takes from waking up panicked, like eyes shot open out of bed, can't breathe, to me laying back down was about an hour. And it was a very traumatic, difficult hour. It was awful, which is why, I just spent the last 10 minutes talking about it, because I just need someone to know that happened, because I was alone and I was scared. And it was horrible. And then I just had to go back to bed and pretend like nothing happened. And then I had to wake up and go work at 7 a.m. and act like I didn't almost just die on my own spit, basically. Oh my gosh. Oh, and the cherry on top of it all. So that all happens. I lay down. I finally, self-soothe. And 4:30 rolls around. I'm freaking freezing. So I wake up. I'm cold. I'm shivering. I was like, great. Did the acid reflux trigger some sort of flu? So I just have not been feeling good all day. Feeling a bit better now. But I need people to know when I'm sick, because it's so lonely being single and sick. The only thing worse than being single and sick is being a mom and sick, like trying to take care of children while you're sick. Been there, not with my own children, of course, but I have nannied for years. I have taken care of children when I was deathly ill because the child was sick, the parents were out of town for like a week, and I was watching them, and then I ended up getting sick. Oh my gosh, horrible. Shout out to all of the parents everywhere. Honestly, just know, in my future spousal arrangement, in our vows, if I am sick and our child is sick at the same time, I don't care, you're taking care of them. Like, I don't care. You can be sick too, because heaven knows men are more dramatic. So them being sick is actually probably going to be better for them taking care of the child than me being sick, because if a woman is sick and taking care of a child, she's on death's bed, whereas he maybe has a sniffle. Like, he can handle feeding another person. Like, she needs to lay down. You know what I mean? Am I making any sense? Do we love how I just, like, create problems for myself, like, for future me? And I'm like, this is how I'm going to resolve this. Like, I'm gonna put in my vows. Like, girl, what are you doing? You're not even dating anyone, so. But, to my future spouse out there, just know that will be our family rule. If mom's sick, yeah, don't be bothering me. Like, everyone better be caring for me. Because I hate being sick. I hate it. And I've been sick alone for a long time. I feel like I've earned a little caretaking, you know? Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you for listening to my tale of just my traumatic, sickly evening. Thank you for your sympathies. The get well cards can be sent to... Just kidding. I'm not going to give away my address. You can DM me. And with that, 10 minutes in, how about we play that intro song, shall we?
Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
All right, let's get to it. Up first on what have I been watching. I just finished the first 2 episodes of The Summer I Turned Pretty this morning. Oh my gosh. You would think I would learn my lesson, but I have forgotten. I had forgotten that The Summer I Turned Pretty did us all dirty before, and we are right back in that pig's pen. They only released the first 2 episodes, and they're going to do a weekly release for the rest. Oh my gosh. As if that's worth my time. But you know what? I am so invested. I'm so deep into this trilogy. I've read every spoiler on the books. I'm dying to know if it actually sticks with the books or if it's going to change. Oh my goodness. I think I've given a plot summary of The Summer I Turned Pretty before, but just in case, a little refresh. You have Belly, our main character. Her name is Isabel, confidently goes by Belly, and no one in the entire series ever questions that when she introduces herself. No one acts like that's not a normal name. Like, she's in college, she's like, hey, my name's Belly. Okay. I mean, that's fine. But no one's gonna follow it up with like oh, interesting. Like, is that short for anything? Like, no, everyone's just like, oh, hey, Belly. As if that's not a part of your body. Like, what? Whatever. You have Belly. And in the first 2 seasons, I feel like Belly had just no substance to her. And you know what? We're 2 episodes into season 3. I still kind of feel that way, to be honest. Like, what are we seeing in Belly? I don't... She's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. She's beautiful. But excuse me if I want my female main characters to have more substance to them than just their looks. Because women in general have more to them than just their looks. But whatever, I digress. So you have Belly. And Belly has a brother named Steven. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about Steven because Steven annoys me. He is like on and off again with her best friend, Taylor. But you know what? We're not going to talk about them because I don't like them as a couple. They're very toxic and it's not good, and I don't think it should be shown on television because teenagers are watching this and thinking this is healthy. Even though, no. What a terrible example we are setting for the teens of America and the world. It's got to stop. Okay, so Belly and her brother and her mother, every summer of their lives, would spend it in this beach home with her mom's best friend and her 2 sons. I feel like I could have explained that in an easier way, but we're here already. So you have Belly and her brother, and then you have the 2 brothers in the other family. Now, the 2 brothers' names are Conrad and Jeremiah. Conrad is your typical sad boy, bad boy spelled B-O-Y, by the way. He was the quarterback football guy, but he quit football and, he won't talk about it and his parents don't understand why and his dad's out to get him and just like, leave me alone, that classic type. Barely smiles. He's just so freaking moody all the time. He's got a lot going on, he's not like the other boys, he's complex and like nobody gets him. So that's Conrad. And then you have Jeremiah, who is a golden retriever in human form. He is sunlight personified. It really is funny because they will switch up the lighting. They will make like scenes with Jeremiah so bright and warm. They just put this warm tone on all of it. And then when it's with Conrad, it's like cool lighting, dark colors. There's just a huge contrast between these two brothers, okay? But Jeremiah is just so cute, affectionate, bubbly. Yeah, so this is a book series, by the way, as well. But in the TV series, Belly has had a crush on Conrad, the older brother, for, ever. Ever since she was a child, she's always had a crush on Conrad. And the series is called The Summer I Turned Pretty. And when she turns 16 years old, they go to this beach house for their regular summer shenanigans. And what happens? Yeah, her and Conrad, they kind of have a thing. But Conrad, being the douchebag he is, he's just emotionally mature, okay? I don't actually think he's a bad person. He's just annoying. And he is just not the type of guy that should ever be in a relationship. Like, dude, no. Well, anyways, he is going through his stuff, and him and Belly, I think they like kiss or get together for a second, and then he kind of treats her like crap, and then she is consoled by Jeremiah, the younger brother, and so she kisses Jeremiah, but then Conrad comes back, and so she chooses Conrad, and her and Conrad have this winter fling. So once the summer's over, then they like are together, they're boyfriend girlfriend, but then the boy's mom dies of cancer, and they of course have a rough relationship with their dad. So things are hard, So Belly is trying her best to support both brothers, and especially her boo, Conrad, but he was sad before his mom died. He had problems long before any of this occurred. So I'm sure you can imagine losing his mother was not, great for his attitude problems. So he ends up self-sabotaging and just basically making the relationship miserable. In his own words, in season 3, he queued it up for her to break up with him, which he really did. He went to her on prom night and was like, I'm not going to prom with you, because it was her senior year. Anyways, she ends up being heartbroken, devastated, of course. Conrad is too, but he won't talk about it. He doesn't deserve her, so she's better off without him. Okay. Well, things progress, and she starts liking Jeremiah. But Jeremiah is like, hey, listen, I am not my brother's keeper. No, just kidding. He basically is like, I don't want just my brother's leftovers. Like, I want you to choose me. I don't want to be your second choice. And she's like, no, Jeremiah, you are my only choice. It's you. So he believes her, they get into a relationship, and now they've been dating all throughout college, and it is 3 years later. It's been her and Jeremiah, so cute, happy as can be. That is where we enter in on season 3, episode 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. And it's gonna be, excuse my French, a shit show. I know it is. Because we have Conrad just so sad. Once again, has this man ever been happy? Not one time. It's been, the course of, I think, 6 years or something that this series has been on. It's only on season 3 in the final series, by the way, which I discussed in a previous episode. So we're not going to get into it. But he's just been so sad all the time, except for that brief stint where he was with Belly. But, dude, grow up. If she's the only thing that makes you happy and, brings light to your world, that's not her responsibility, for one. Two, that gets a really weird, bad, unhealthy dynamic because it now becomes, you're only nice to her. I hate that trope. He's mean to everyone but her. That is so toxic. Ladies, no. No to that behavior. You can think it's hot in a book all you want, maybe even in a TV show, but please, for the love, do not think that is hot in real life. I know a lot of you do, and you need to stop. If he is mean to everyone but you, that is a sign that you should leave. You're not special. Like, he will be mean to you eventually, girl. He probably is, and you just are convinced that he's only nice to you. Like, no, girl, you're lying to yourself. And it's about time that you woke up and go and actually find a decent person, all right? Because you deserve it. We've talked about this. Moving on. So, anyways, started the summer I turned pretty. I'm pissed once again that they only gave me 2 episodes and now are going to make me wait for a weekly release. Like, what is this, cable television? Oh my gosh, I hate this. I hate it here. We'll see what kind of self-control I have if I'm able to just wait the 5 weeks to binge it. I don't know. We'll see. But that's what we have up first. Next, I watched the first episode of A Man on the Inside, which was created by the same people who created The Good Place, and it has a lot of people from The Good Place series. This is on Netflix. I watched it with Courtney. Shout out to Courtney. Awesome. Really loved the first episode, and I will continue watching and report back. But it was delightful. Short episode, 25, 30 minutes. Funny, witty. It seems great. The plot of it is there's this woman at an old folks home, like a retirement home, and her ruby necklace, some sort of valuable heirloom, was stolen. So her son is hiring a private detective to figure out who stole this family heirloom. So what she does is she puts an ad in the paper, and she wants to hire an old man to go in as a man on the inside, hence the title, and kind of, create suspects and sleuth it out and figure out who stole this family heirloom. And Ted Danson, he is the star of it. He's the man on the inside, and already, it was just delightful. It was such a fun first episode, so I will definitely be continuing that. Random tangent in between, I just got a brand new reed diffuser because my friend Lucy is the best, and she gave it to me, and it just smells delicious. So this is just, my commercial break saying thank you to Lucy for my native floral reed diffuser. Thank you so much. Not sponsored. No, but it really does smell so good. I'm having a great time just sitting here, listening to myself, but also smelling the wonderful scent next to me. Okay, next up we have The Traitors. I've been wanting to watch this for a while because it has a lot of people from Survivor that play traitors, which is basically the game Werewolf in the Night? What is that game? Where you have some people that are the killers, and then everyone closes their eyes, and then they elect who they're going to kill, and then you have the villagers or something, and they decide who they think the killers are, and you guys know what game I'm talking about, right? If not, just look up The Traitors, and I'm sure there's a plot summary somewhere that somebody else can give you. We've got AI for that. Well, anyways, there's a lot of past Survivor players that have been on Traitors, and a lot of people really like it. So I decided to start it. I only got 1 episode in. I think I'm going to give it at least 1 more, but here was my issue. So I watched the first episode, and the challenge that they had everyone do, they split them into teams, and they have them do this really super pointless challenge. It was so dumb to me because they're just adding money to the pot that the winner will take, but there didn't seem to be any consequences if they didn't win. And it was just, and the prize itself, it's okay, well, that was the prize anyways. The prize of this show is, I think it's $250,000. But you, I guess, earn that money through these challenges. But again, if they didn't complete the challenge, they lose out on $30,000? That doesn't seem, it seems weird in the formatting of the show. And then also just to have them compete in this pointless challenge, it was kind of dumb. And then it also felt like they were just, I don't know, talking in circles. I was like, what? There didn't seem to be a ton of direction. to it, so I'll give it one more episode, but I was honestly really disappointed. Because I liked the idea of it being this lying show, where you have this goal and they have to kill people and then suss out who is the one killing people and they're lying and stuff. But the challenges seemed pointless to me, and also they just seemed to be having conversations about, like, do you think it's me or do you think it's you or what, like, I don't know. But then again, I only watched one episode, so I'm making a lot of assumptions based on one episode, but sometimes that's all I need. I've been doing this a long time. I've been watching a lot of TV. I can usually see where something's headed. But I'll give it one more. I will definitely be skipping the challenge on this next episode, and I'll see if that makes it any better, and I will report back. Other things I watched: Severance. Oh, we're gonna talk about Severance. Buckle in. I'm pissed. I can't even express how frustrated and angry I am at the season 2 finale. Really just the last 3 episodes of season 2. For those who don't know what Severance is, this is on Apple TV. The idea is you have these people, these workers, they work for this company called Lumen. This is based in, the future. I don't know. The time period was kind of elusive, but just like an alternate present day reality, where you can decide to undergo a procedure called severance, where your work life and your home life are different. So basically you have this chip implanted in your brain, and it creates this work persona. So you get in this elevator, and when you go to work, then you are this work version of yourself. They call it an innie, and all you do is work. You work your 8 hours, and then you go in the elevator, and when you leave the elevator, you have no memory of what you just did at work, and now you're your outie, the outside world, and you just live your personal life, and then once again you wake up, you go to work, and then boom. So the innie, the only reality they know is work. Like every single day they are in this building because they don't know who they are. They don't have any memories of what they have done outside. It's just basically if you like split your brain, and like anytime you walked into a new building, you were, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to explain, to be honest. Just watch the trailer. But they basically, it is the same person, but they're 2 different versions of this person that don't know each other because they have no memories of what's happening on either side. They're not connected. So the whole first season is just, it felt like a thriller, to be honest. You're on the edge of your seat just trying to piece together, what is this company? What are they doing? What's going on? And there's definitely a cult happening. Like, the company they work for, Lumen, is a cult. And it's really weird, and but you just don't have any answers when you're watching it. So it's actually very compelling. The first season, I was really interested because there was so much happening, but also you have next to no answers, and so it kind of felt like this big puzzle that you're trying to piece together. So it's really great writing. Ben Stiller is the writer of it. Then season 2, things escalate to be, now they're trying to solve a problem. I don't want to give away too much because it is a big part of the series, is this mysterious part. But here's what I will say. In the final 3 episodes, it kind of felt like we took a left turn for a second, and we slowed down to freaking 5 miles an hour on this weird side plot thing. It just felt so unnecessary. If you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? No, get us back to the action. We were building to something. Why did you take us down this detour just to give us added background that could have been given to us in some flashback that lasted 3 to 5 minutes? I didn't need an hour-long episode that just felt torturously slow. That's my first thought. My second is when they finally get to the season 2 finale and like you are invested at this point, like big things are going down. Oh my gosh, it was so high suspense. I got to that final episode and I had to skip probably 40% of it because the tension and just suspense of it all was too much. They were making it too prolonged. So I'm doing, the skip 10 seconds button over and over and over and over again because I just get to it. Stop doing all of these things of, showing someone running down a hallway for freaking 5 minutes, and your heart's beating because they have to get to the end of the hallway. Like, no. And then they keep cutting back to a different scene that's also in just complete suspense, suspended animation. Is that the word I'm looking for? Anyways, it was just awful. So I kept skipping because I just don't do well with surprises. I don't do well with just tantalizing teasing. No, just give it to me. Just, no, stop. Just hand it over and show me if we're going to make it out or not. That's what I want. Like, whether it's make it out alive in any series, whether someone's going to die, like, just do it. Just rip the Band-Aid, okay? This whole just pulling it one little millisecond at a time, really milking it. I may love milk, but I hate things being milked. And put that on a t-shirt. Do not milk something for me, okay? No, I want that watered down. I want it straight up on the rocks. Like, just give it to me. Whiskey straight. All right, that's what I want. And Severance, how freaking dare you with that ending. I won't spoil a thing, but just know I finished at 1 a.m. and I was ready to punch Ben Stiller in the face and everyone personally involved in the making of Severance. How dare you leave me on that big of a cliffhanger and then not release the next season until 2027? You're dead to me. So I do not recommend Severance. I don't. At least not until the 3rd season's out because it's kind of pointless and we're all going to forget about it anyways by the time the 3rd season's out, and it just made me mad. I mean, it was good, but not good enough for me to recommend, genuinely, until I know how the 3rd season is going to go, because it could go in a lot of different directions. I just don't think it's worth it to put yourself through that only to have that ending that it had. It's just, no, yeah. Skip it until 2027 and then I'll report back at that time. But for now, take Severance off the list. I know everyone's been telling you to watch it. I'm telling you, don't. I wish I didn't, honestly. I wish I did not watch it. Also up on the recent watches, we have Shark Whisperer. That is the new documentary on Netflix of Ocean Ramsey, which, you know what, I'm going to Google this right now. Is that her real name? Because that's crazy as if it is. Is Ocean Ramsey her real name? Yeah, first Google search. Yes, it is. Wow, this girl really was born to do this job. Her name is Ocean, and she is a shark conservationist, okay? Her parents really manifested that ahead of time. I feel like it's a Serena Venus Williams type of situation, where they were brought up to be amazing tennis players, and then they were. Ocean Ramsey was, I would like to think, brought up to be a shark whisperer with just the name of Ocean alone. That qualified. Absolutely. And I will say, it was a fantastic documentary. I loved it. I really enjoy a good ocean documentary. I find the ocean to be very fascinating and not as scary as I think other people do. Space, couldn't care less. The ocean? Yeah, press play. Absolutely. The stars, the planets, the moon, no thanks. The deep depths of the ocean, yeah. Yeah, put a camera down there. I'll watch. I am going to watch the Titan, the submersible documentary soon, because Lucy told me that it was really good, so that's up top of my list right now. I'm really excited. I really enjoy the ocean, and it is a bucket list item for me to swim with sharks. I think it would be amazing to swim with sharks and to swim with whales and not be just genuinely terrified. It does excite me in a way that I think roller coasters excite other people, and just, none of that adrenaline for a roller coaster is ever enticing to me, but I do feel adrenaline and somewhat a small bit of terror, but it does excite me to think of swimming with sharks and orcas and killer whales and just all of it. That really does spark something in me that I'm willing to fight through the adrenaline, you know? It kind of sounds exciting. So, huge bucket list thing for me. I really enjoyed just the series as a whole. I liked her take on it. I don't know, it just felt fresh. It was an easy watch, a good 90-minute film. She makes it honestly look beautiful to swim with these sharks. And I like that she emphasized, they're not just they're not puppies, they're not playthings. Like, these are apex predators, and she has a lot of respect for them, and you can tell she's really passionate about what she does, and I love that it's, a woman documentary. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. I mean, not actually, that's not my actual rating, but I really enjoyed it and would highly recommend it. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10 for me, and probably a 6 out of 10 for the public. Great film. Go watch it. If you're a documentary person, absolutely. This next one's going to be quick. I watched Love Me with Kristen Stewart and Steven Yeun. It's an indie film. The trailer made it look really interesting. Absolutely do not watch. I skipped most of it. The intro alone was 10 minutes too long. I'm not even going to explain what this movie was, because I was confused by it, to be honest. Yeah, no. It was a complete miss. They fired, but I don't know if they even had an intended target. It was awful. 0 out of 10. Love Me. Do not watch Love Me. If the trailer looks even somewhat good, like I thought it did, just know that's a complete lie and take it off the list. And I say that as if any of you know what I'm talking about. There is probably one of you that has seen this trailer, because most of you probably watch the more mainstream things. This is a very indie film. Unless you're a big Kristen Stewart fan like myself, you've never heard of this. You probably never will again. But just know I tried it and it sucked. So, Love Me with Kristen Stewart is going to be a no. Last one we are going to talk about today is going to be Anora, the Oscar winner for Best Picture. You know I had to watch it because it was an Oscar winner, especially when it was up against Wicked. I was like, okay, let's see this for myself. Now, some trigger warnings, just if you're wanting to watch Anora. Okay, there is quite a bit of nudity, swearing, stuff like that. The premise of it is you have this rich Russian kid, and he goes to a strip club, and Anora is the name of the girl. She's the stripper, and he ends up, they fall for each other, okay? That's kind of the premise of the show, which is why there's a lot of nudity, because obviously she's a stripper, all right? But I will say, when the whole movie was completed, I understood why it got the Oscar. I really, really enjoyed it. The actress that plays Anora, what's her name? Mikey Madison, phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it was so great. And it's told over the space of a very short time period. So basically, they get together, this rich Russian guy, he's young, very young, so is she. I think they're like 20 or something like that. Okay, they decide to get married. And they go to Vegas, they get married, and it's like a couple days later that his parents are gonna fly from Russia to like get this marriage annulled, because his parents are some big diplomats. I don't know. His parents are big deals in Russia, and like this is not gonna fly. The fact that he married this stripper, obviously. But, anyways, most of the movie, actually, the main guy, he's gone. He's like run away. And so it's her with these two goons that come to get them to go to the courthouse to get their marriage annulled. So they kind of sort of kidnap her, but not really. Anyways, it just was so good. It was so good. I don't know how to really explain it. It's very slow, I would say. There's not a whole lot going on, but it felt very indie film. It did. I know I say that a lot, but it did. It felt like a complex plot told simply, which is what I love. I love to see this dynamic, deep character that we only get to see really snippets of their life, but the acting was so good that you feel like it's this deeper story even when nothing really complex is going on the screen. I mean, truly, the majority of the film is them just going around town trying to find her missing husband. Like, that's a lot of what the film is. And before that, it was just like her kind of hooking up with this guy. Like, it's not a very deep plot necessarily, but the final scene in the movie was just, oh, you see this broken girl, and it was beautiful. It just makes you really feel for her. There was so much emotion. I think 100% she deserved the Oscar for that. The performance was phenomenal. I felt it felt so real to me. I felt like I watched something so tangible and authentically real. So I do not think that this movie is for everyone. I don't think it's for most people, to be honest. Like, again, the plot is a little bit weird, and I know I have a lot of religious people that listen to this. I do not think that it's really gonna be great for people. I don't know. I loved it as a avid film connoisseur. Like, I love watching films that move me, that have beautiful acting, great soundtracks, interesting film techniques as far as camera angles and the directing choices. And this just had all of that. It really did. I did skip some of the beginning part just because I didn't really want to watch some of it. But overall, great movie. If it's on VidAngel and you're religious, I would highly recommend that, because then you can filter it out. I've talked about VidAngel in a different episode about what that is. Yeah, phenomenal. If you're a big movie person, I do think it is worth the watch. And I see why it won the Oscar. I don't know if it fully deserved the Oscar over, say, Wicked, or personally, I think We Live in Time deserved an Oscar. If I was voting, that's where my vote would have gone, was We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. But I wasn't pissed off at this selection, to be honest. Whereas the stupid, weird, whatever musical with Selena Gomez, what was that? That garbage! That trash! Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Why was that even in the running for anything? That one, absolutely not. But Anora, alright. I can sleep well knowing Anora won, because I really did love the acting of it. It was so good. And in the end, I just felt heartbroken, got emotional. It was this short story, and it was almost this peek into this girl's life, just trying to figure things out. And yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it. To me, I would give Anora probably an 8.5 out of 10. For the public, Like just your average movie watcher, 5 out of 10. I don't think that this movie, I think a lot of people are not gonna like this movie. I think they're gonna find it boring. They're gonna miss the whole point of it, and yeah, don't think it's for everybody. But I liked it. In fact, I loved it. My window is currently open and there are sirens going on outside, so if you can hear that, look, I'm sorry. I don't really want to close the window because then it's going to make it hot and stuffy in here, and my AC is too loud, so sorry, we're just all going to have to deal with the sirens. But as a side note, thank goodness Australia doesn't have terrible sirens here. This is something I did not know, but I discovered very quickly. In different parts of the world, the siren sound is different. So in America, I think to me it feels like a deeper type of sound for the alarm on ambulances and on cop cars. But in Switzerland, it was higher pitched and it was horrible. Every single time I heard an emergency vehicle in Switzerland, I wanted to plug both of my ears and shrivel up on the ground. Like, I'm not lying. It was so overstimulating to me, and I absolutely hated the noise and just the tone of the siren. It was something that my ears were clearly not accustomed to, but also it just hit my ear wrong every single time. Oh, it was awful. That was one of my least favorite parts about living in Switzerland, genuinely. And I know that sounds like so random and stupid, like, girl, get over it, but it's those little things that you don't realize until you go and live somewhere else that you're like, oh wow, yeah, no, this drives me crazy. I loved so many things about Switzerland, but top of my list of things I didn't like was the siren noises. So thank goodness when I moved here to Australia, it's not the same pitch as the American ones, but it is a better pitch. It doesn't bother me at all. Whatever tone that they use here, it's not nails on a chalkboard for me like it was in Switzerland. So there's a random fun fact for you. Going to the notes section on my phone, I have up first, the new season of Wednesday is going to be split into 2 parts. F me. Oh my gosh, I am excited for the new season of Wednesday, but again, with these 2 parts, the episode dropping, just, I hate Hollywood. I hate them. I watched the trailer for The Girlfriend on Amazon Prime, and finally, someone knows how to make a trailer. It was great. Afterwards, I was thinking, wait, what is this about? I have so many questions. And that's how a trailer should be. Don't give me the entire storyline in the trailer. Oh, speaking of trailers, I just watched one with Cole Sprouse where he plays a dad. That made me uncomfortable. I feel like Cole Sprouse, you still have too much of a baby face to be playing a dad. I know he had long hair and facial hair. No, we're not playing husband daddy roles yet. No, we should be still in single, slightly older boy roles. No, I don't want to see Cole Sprouse as an actual dad. I want to see him, I hate saying the word daddy. I was gonna say I want to see him as a daddy, but I'm like, ew. I'm telling you right now, dirty talk, no, I do not like being called, I don't like using that. If someone calls themselves daddy, we're done. No, hell no. That's not for me. I'm telling you that right now. And I make sure that that's very clear to anyone I've ever been with. Yeah, no, don't be doing that. And I will not be saying that. Oh, I know some of you girls are into that, but not me. Not me. That's on my list of no thanks. There's a lot of things I'm fine with, but for whatever reason, daddy, ugh, no. No! Boy, no. Next we have, I can't wait for the day AI takes over. So when I don't finish the last 5 books of a series, I don't have to spend hours trying to figure out the spoilers. And this is, of course, in reference to the Zodiac Academy, because I did, in fact, spend hours looking up YouTube videos, trying online to find the spoilers. It is genuinely difficult to find spoilers that are accurate, I should say. You can find some spoilers, but a lot of times, again, AI will just like make crap up. The internet's been doing that for a long time. Like, it is difficult to find accurate spoilers. I really would love to have read just an entire plot summary of each of the books, but I couldn't seem to find that anywhere. That's all I wanted. I just wanted someone to like take me, step by step, tit for tat, tell me what happened in the final books. I would have done one at a time, but I, for whatever reason, could not find them on the Zodiac Academy series. Eventually, I found a couple YouTube videos that were hours long that did somewhat give me what I was wanting, these summary videos, but I just want every single spoiler to be given to me, and I can't wait for the day that AI can do that accurately without making crap up. I would love to be memorialized like Julia Regan. Regan? One of the two. Okay, if you don't know about this, if you are not from Utah, which a good percentage of my listeners are from Australia and from all over the world, actually. We have people from Russia. You know what? Let me look up my analytics really quick. Here are the countries that listen to this podcast, because you can see which geographical locations, and it will have a percentage. So 91.3% is the United States of America. So, what up, my people? Then we have Australia, Canada, Ghana, Finland, Ukraine, Russia, United Kingdom, Romania, Hungary, New Zealand, Philippines, Bangladesh, Ireland, Mexico, Colombia, Italy, Poland, Israel, and Denmark. So, hey guys, shout out to all of you. Thanks for listening. So cool to have so many listeners from all over the world. Oh my gosh, I love it. What was I talking about? I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, right. I was talking about Julia Regan. Okay, so a lot of you probably won't know what this is in reference to, but there is this man, and he had a wife named Julia, and he owns a billboard company in Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, his wife died last year in 2024, and as this final goodbye to her, as this love letter to her, as he liked to call it, he took 300 billboards around Utah and Arizona and just like a couple other states, and he put pictures of her, and it's this memorial, and they're so sweet. It's these beautiful pictures, and it says, Julia Regan, loved beyond words, missed beyond measure. And there's some different photos that he's had up over the years, but I mean, these are hundreds of billboards. I have seen these all over Utah, and it became this cultural phenomenon, actually. There's tons of TikToks about it in Utah, people dressed up as her for Halloween. Like, it became this big thing. But honestly, it's just such this beautiful tribute. He says that he never got to say goodbye to her, so this was his way of saying goodbye. He wanted everyone to know, how much he loved her, but also when he was driving down the street, he wanted to see her and this legacy that they had built together with this billboard company all those years ago. So I just read, actually, that the billboards will be coming down after a year. These billboards have been up on over 300 billboards for a year with this woman's face on it, and they're going to be coming down, and then he says that he'll do it annually for 2 weeks, like a 2-week tribute on the week of her passing, I guess is what his plan is. But I was just thinking about that the other day because I saw a video that someone was like, guys, look, a new Julia Regan billboard is up. Like, it's just been this cultural thing in Utah and the states where these billboards are found. And I just thought, oh, that would be so beautiful to have a husband who does that kind of tribute. First off, to be that rich, heaven knows that's the kind of husband I'm looking for. But she did so much, and, I've read different articles and stuff about all the good that she did and her career, and it's just amazing the impact that she had on her community. And so for her husband to just do this beautiful thing to put up all these billboards because he misses her so much and he just wants the world to know that she was his world and that she's gone and that he misses her and he loved her and he still loves her. I just think that whole thing is beautiful, and I want someone to love me like that. Like, that's just so tender and sweet to me. So to be memorialized like that, also garner all of that attention, even in death, absolutely sign me up. That sounds right up my alley. Yes, please. Honestly, may these podcast episodes be played for the years and decades after my passing, that people can just, maybe that's when they'll blow up, is when I'm gone, you know? I really hope not, but I love the idea that my grandchildren one day, when they're like, oh, I wonder what my grandma was like. First off, they're never going to have to wonder because I will have told them everything. Honestly, they're going to be like, no, there's nothing new to learn. Because I never shut up. I am not a mysterious gal. I'm not, closed off and shy. Like, sometimes I wish I was. Just because that sounds fun, and to be the mysterious girl in the room, sounds sexy and hot. Never been me, never will be, alright? I come busting in through any door. Here I am, this is me, singing it from The Greatest Showman, dance number included. Yeah. Everyone's gonna know who I was and the legacy that I will leave on this world. I hope it has something to do with bringing people closer to God and closer to better sex lives. Honestly, that's the legacy I would love to leave behind. If that could be memorialized, that'd be great. This next note says, I spent about 45 minutes looking at classroom makeovers on Schoolgirl Style account and wonder what the other teachers think that don't get the makeovers and how much one of them costs. So there is this Instagram account that I'm obsessed with. I love it. It's called Schoolgirl Style, and it's this designer, this interior designer, but she does specifically elementary school classrooms. I guess she does high school and stuff as well, but a lot of them seem to be elementary school. And she literally transforms these classrooms, truly, into these oases. Like, it looks like the coziest, cutest, most incredible thing. It's amazing. It looks like if Kim Kardashian had a classroom. Like, it's just awesome. And it seems very expensive, but I'm all for it. Oh my gosh. If I was going to take my kid on parent-teacher conference night and we walked into one of those classrooms, I'd be like, you're kidding. Absolutely yes. Like, get my child in here. But also at the same time, is that the best thing? Because then my child's gonna have a superiority complex because they're gonna think that they're better than all the other kids in all the other lame classrooms where the teachers really tried their best. And, they just didn't have the $1 million budget that this teacher clearly did. Also, where are you getting that on a teacher's salary? Like, what? But anyways, I watch these videos and they just have so many questions. Like, is it controversial in the school? Are they kind of this social pariah to all the other teachers? And they think, oh, well, she thinks she's better than the rest of us because she has a really cute classroom. I also wonder how much it costs. I've been trying. I've been on that website because I've looked up all their things. Also, I really want to know how much one of these classroom makeovers costs. I would love to know some teachers' opinions on if it's detrimental to learning to have that much going on. But some of them are actually, like, it's very white and clean and pretty. Some of them, it's crazy chaotic. Like, it looks adorable, but there is a lot going on. And I don't think that that's conducive for learning, because I think they say actually, like, less things on the walls, less stimulation is better. But anyways, yeah, go check out this woman's account, and I feel like we could have a full discussion about it, truly, of, are you on board? Do you think we should be promoting these classroom makeovers? Are they a good thing for learning, for teachers, for students? Are they bad? Are they causing problems that don't need to be there? I'd love to know your thoughts. But just know, if I were a teacher, I'd be doing a classroom makeover. Absolutely. I would be on board 100%. I would love to say that, no, students should be able to learn in an empty classroom. And although I do believe that, I am a sucker for something that looks cute. I'm a sucker for glitter, for the color pink, for anything super duper girly, and for crazy, cute, cozy interior design. I love that. I love that crap. I'm all over it, and yeah, I would be so on top of that if I was a teacher. 100%. I mean, I am a teacher. I'm an educator, but this is why it's probably a good thing that I never taught elementary school or anything. I did my volunteer teaching hours and stuff in elementary school, and I said, nah, I'm good. I love the teenagers, so that's why I did substitute teaching. But ultimately, I really do enjoy being with adults and teenagers. That's where I thrive. But I don't feel like this cute, cozy classroom would go over as well in a high school setting, I think the kids appreciate it more. But anyways, none of this matters because I don't teach high school. And my office that I had back in Utah, it was cute and cozy, but I shared it with some other therapists when I wasn't there, so I couldn't, make it completely my own. But one day, I will have a really adorable office, and that you can bet on. Alright, we will end with these notes that I had in Bali that I never shared on my last episode where I talked about Bali. Here's the first one. On my flight to Bali, my seat was broken. I didn't have an armrest on my left side. I was next to the window, okay? I didn't have an armrest there, so that was annoying. But then my armrest on the right, the button to lay my seat back wasn't working at all. Or it was either that or the button was supposed to be on the left armrest. Oh my gosh. The missing armrest, I think, was the one that was supposed to have the button to help my seat lean back, but my seat wouldn't lean back because I didn't have it. Well, the guy sitting directly in front of me, he put his seat all the way back. And these seats went back further than I think I've ever seen seats in a plane lean back. This man's back of his seat was touching my nose. I'm not kidding you. This seat, I have never felt so claustrophobic before. I was just watching my show on my phone when all of a sudden, we reach altitude and he sails his seat on back into me. Oh my gosh, it felt like sexual assault. I was like, sir, you're on top of me right now and I did not consent. And I had nowhere to go. I couldn't escape because my seat wouldn't lean back at all. And this man had terrible BO. Horrible. And I could smell it because he's basically on my lap. It was horrible. It was genuinely one of the worst flights I've ever been on. And Jatil and Mickey were sitting next to me. And they couldn't believe it either. Thank goodness they were there to validate my feelings and be like, yeah, girl, I'm so sorry. I was so claustrophobic, and I don't know, it was one of those situations where I could have told him to move up, but I didn't feel like I could, he had his noise-canceling Bose headphones on or whatever. He smelled freaking terrible. He smelled like he just came off of a 5-hour workout, oh my gosh. So I have his BO in my nose, I've got his entire seat in my lap. Oh, I couldn't even have my what's it called? The table down because it was jamming into my ribs because that's how close he was to me. So I had to put my table up and I was doing freaking Lamaze breathing. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness I've been to therapy because had I not, I think I would have had a mental breakdown. I'm not kidding you. I was so claustrophobic and just being stuck on a plane, to me, I hate being on a plane. It's not fun for me. I'm in physical agony, and I didn't want to take a muscle relaxer because it was only a 3-hour flight, so I didn't want to be knocked out for the entire rest of the day, because that's what happens when I take muscle relaxers. Those things are sedatives for me, and they also, make me super loopy. I just, no. Unless I'm going on a really long flight, unless it's I would say 5 hours or longer, like I take some, regular painkillers and I'm still miserable, but yeah, awful. So I was fully awake, and thank goodness Jatil was sitting next to me, because I was able to she let me use her tray to prop my phone up on, and I just kind of like leaned to that side for 3 hours. But about every 30 minutes, I started panicking because I was just so miserable and so claustrophobic. And again, thank goodness for therapy, because I'm just talking myself down. I was like, wow, thank goodness I know how to self-soothe, because the amount of self-soothing that I had to do on that 3-hour flight was insane. Oh my goodness. I was on the brink of so many panic attacks, and so many, like, I was about to choke this man out. Literally, but I didn't want to be that close to him. Like, I already felt like he was so close to me, but I didn't want to be so close to his freaking BO to, like, put my hands on him, But that was the only thing stopping me. I was miserable, absolutely miserable on that flight. So, that was horrible. It was probably the worst flight I've ever been on. And it was only 3 hours, but it was 3 hours of pure hell. It really was. When I got off the flight, like, I felt really emotional because I was so miserable for 3 hours and just so upset at the whole situation. Had it been anything more than 3 hours, I would have had to say something. I would have, called a flight attendant over and been like, can we move me, please? Just let me sit somewhere else, please. I beg of you, because look at this situation that I'm in. Like, my seat can't move, and I'm stuck. But it was only 3 hours, so I guess I can do anything for 3 hours, that was my mantra, at least. That was what I kept chanting to myself. And I was right. So, there we go. Next, I have the driver to the hotel was literally in the middle of 2 lanes. I never want to drive in Bali. That was terrifying. It was a 15-minute drive to our hotel, and it was so scary. The lanes don't exist there. Everyone's just all over the place. Oh my gosh. I get so anxious driving in other places. So, yeah, no. No. I will not be driving in Bali. And don't take me on a road trip in Bali, because all the motorcyclists and everything, just the traffic in some other countries is a little too much for me. Having the napkin open for me and put on my lap, ... no thanks. So we went to restaurants every single night at this resort, and I genuinely don't find anything more awkward than when I sit down and the waiter or waitress comes to my side, grabs my napkin for me, and places it on my lap. I call it a cultural difference, but back up. I didn't consent. I don't like it. I don't want you. It's awkward. It's weird. And then you're shuffling around me, like, fixing my plate and my silverware. Like, just leave me alone. Don't even scoop my chair in for me. Like, just point the table out with your finger and say, sit here, and I'll take care of the rest. Like, I don't want to be served in that way, No. Ugh. See, maybe I can't be rich, because I think that's how the rich people, they have, other people do all that crap for them. Just everything except feed them. And no, I don't even want you to pull my chair out. Please don't. And don't push it in, because no, it's all awkward to me. It's all completely awkward. I had a 2-person massage that changed my life. Oh my gosh, I have always wanted one of these. Did I talk about this before in one of my episodes? Maybe I didn't. So I've worked in the massage business. I worked in it for 7 years, so I know a thing or two about massage. And I even told my massage therapist friends, shout out to Taylor, that I was gonna go get a massage from 2 people at once, a dual massage. You guys, can't recommend enough. 10 out of 10. Actually 12 out of 10. It was amazing. It was life-changing. I have had many a massage in my life, all right? I was at one point getting weekly massages from some of the best massage therapists, genuinely, in all of Utah. Shout out to Body Balance Massage and Float. just incredibly gifted massage therapists, truly. I've had a lot of massages in my life, and this was magical, having two people at once, because the one thing is when you have just one person, you know, and they're working on your shoulders, and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if someone could work on my shoulders at the same time that someone works on my calves? Yeah, dream come true. It was so good. And it must be so, so difficult to do that type of massage. In fact, I know it is because, again, I have a lot of massage therapist friends, because you have to match your pressure perfectly with someone else so it feels even. And also the way that they do it, like one person's on one leg and one person's on the other leg at the same time, or, you know, like I said, once they move their way up the body, it's like one person's on the shoulders while the other person's on the legs, and you just need it to feel consistent rather than one being firmer pressure or harder or anything like that. These women, they knew what the crap they were doing, and I did a 90-minute because it was so cheap, and I knew I was never going to get this opportunity in the US because it's way too expensive, at least not until I make it big and rich, obviously. Which now I know this is the only way I'm going to go from here on out. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is cheaper than it would be to get just an hour and a half massage in the US. I mean, it was like half the price. And I was like, and I have always wanted this type of massage. So I did it. I splurged, even though it wasn't that much of a splurge, to be honest. Can't recommend enough. I should have gotten a 90-minute massage every single day from those two women, because that was incredible. These last two will be quick. Whoever puts tiles by a pool should be shot. I think that's self-explanatory. There we go. Like, what are we doing? Putting a slippery surface by a pool? Your entire deck to your pool is going to be tile? Are we freaking kidding? Do you know how many old people are around here? They could break a hip. What about me? My young hips and my knee. Oh my gosh. I was so scared. Every single time I was walking to the pool, I was like, I'm going to slip and fall. And then last thing, why do I always feel suspicious at the airport of how many times they take our photos? Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to hide, but there is something about when I'm standing in those lines, they're taking, you know, my fingerprints, they're scanning my passport, they're taking my photo, then I'm like, whoa, is someone going to use this information? Like, why do they need it to be this intense? Like, what are they using this for? I get really, really suspicious. I do. And I feel like it's probably nefarious, whatever they're doing with that stuff. They say the pictures are deleted immediately after. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't believe you for 1 second. No, you're using those photos. I don't know what for, but probably something not good. When I was in China, when I lived there, and I went into the airport, yeah, do you know how much data they took on me? It was everything except my blood. Like, truly, in that airport, I was like, oh my gosh. Well, I'm in that system for sure. So if I were to ever do anything, I don't know. Maybe we should look at China first if my identity is ever stolen, because they have my everything. They have all of my information. They have multiple photos from multiple angles. They have my fingerprints. They have... Oh my gosh, they had so much information. There was like, if I remember right, it was 4 different things where I had to get my photo taken in order to just get past one part of the customs section of the airport. It was crazy. But I mean, that was in 2019. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, I don't like it. And I've seen on Instagram and stuff, people like opting out of the mandatory taking your picture, and part of me is like, yeah, I want to opt out, but like, girl, why would I opt out? Like, what do I have to hide? What I don't really have any reason to opt out. It's just the fact that I don't like that it feels suspicious that they're taking my photo. I don't know. I just does anybody else feel this way when they go to the airport? It's like, why are we doing it like this? Why does it feel like you guys are actually up to something? And I'm just trying to get on a flight, but I feel like you guys are up to something. And that's where we'll leave it for today. The government, I think they're always up to something. I think they are. And I love a good conspiracy theory, so drop yours. If you've heard a good one about why airport security is the pictures and the clear and all the things. If you've heard some good conspiracy theories, please send them my way. I love reading those. I really do. I don't believe 99% of them, but I do love to hear the theories. All right, this has been enough. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for, supporting me through any difficult times that I may have, whether it be during the day or in the middle of the night. Make sure to put some things on your watch list and take some things off. Whatever I've told you, stick with that. Honestly, don't question it at all, because why should you? I mean, I know what's best. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next week and share all of my thoughts on life, because this has been Life According to Nikki. Bye.